I mean, it's a normal age, whatever, but I'm pretty old myself. I'm 34. It's still not like old enough. Like I run into a lot of 20-year-olds, 22, 25. To me, I mean, I don't mind hanging out with them, but I guess because this is VR and, you know, I have this avatar that's all glowy, perfect, pretty, and then like all these guys start getting thirsty and they're like 20 years old and I'm 34 years old. That, you know what I mean? I'm like, you need to back up. Like
I feel as though in past months or years, I've definitely been improving. I feel VR chat is one such method that I've had the opportunity to just talk to people. And in talking with people, sharing stories and insecurity, it makes me feel a little bit more comfortable in my own skin. And it makes it a little bit more easier to speak with people when you just realize that at the end of the day, everyone who's just walking through life is trying to get by same as you. No one has it figured out, and we're just human. All that together just makes it easier just to talk. And when you stop trying to put up a false front, just stop trying to be someone you're not, it makes it a lot easier to connect with people. And I think that's what a lot of people are looking for. Just something authentic, something to connect to.
No, not at all. I wouldn't say I'm an extrovert person, but I've never had trouble making friends. I'm more or less like, I'll make friends with anyone, but I prefer to be by myself most of the time. I just like my own company a lot of the time. But I'm fine with making friends, but I'll talk to anyone, like, yeah, I mean, I'm not shy really. I just don't take people too seriously. I think I don't take many things too serious. I'm not a child, I'm not immature, but I try not to take things too seriously. So it doesn't bother me. Like if an interaction went wrong with someone, I'd just take it on the chin and move on. Because we are animals and we are humans and we're not actually like evolved to deal with this technology yet fully, you still can't really beat or match a real life interaction with someone. Like it's not to detract from like a connection you could have with someone in VR chat. Like you could obviously have a really good connection with someone, but to get that full-on connection with someone, you probably need to meet them in real life. Yeah, until we've got microchips in our brain, bro, and we can fully fool our senses, it's not gonna work. It will never be that good. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like VR chat and whatnot, it's like the early internet, like from back in the day. Like VR chat's really weird, old school in a way. Yeah, because everything in the game is pretty much done by its own community, isn't it? So there's no like corporate agendas going on in VR chat.
Personally, I'm struggling finding like places to perform because, you know, I'm not that good yet. Take you by the hand, you're the only one who understands. That could have been so much better. Thank you. I appreciate that. Honestly, no, I don't have any issues if I'd say so myself when it comes to making friends in real life. I have a lot of people I'd call close, some closest I've ever had. Yeah, I've met great people on here, but yeah, like physical contact, it does make, you know, being there physically, doing shit physically with people, it's a lot. But you can replicate a lot of that in VR chat, I feel like. If you have the VR headset and if you have that time that you want to put into it, it can be deep. I have a lot of people that are some like best friends I've ever made that are here, but I was off this game for like a whole ass year, so I lost a lot of them, to be completely fair. The only difference is the immersion. Like if you're in VR, you get to do a lot more, considering how moment you get to like feel as if you're in a real world. You get to like actually properly feel as if you're hanging out with these people, whereas when you're on desktop, you're just kind of seeing the world and that's it. You know, you're not properly interacting with it as you would in VR. Just you see it and that's that. You get to talk to the people though, which is honestly what matters most.
Well, that's a good question. First of all, I think VR chat is a great kind of medium for people to kind of reach out to like different communities and, you know, kind of various other people that they might not necessarily meet in real life. So I come on here because I want to generally just meet, like expand my mind, I guess, you know, like instead of just like seeing the same like kind of people day in and day out in real life, it's kind of good to kind of, you know, speak to people from different areas of life. I think the negative side of VR chat is it can be very weird. There's a lot of stuff I've seen which I wish I hadn't, but you know, that's kind of what happens when you have a place like this.
Only a small percentage of people who watch my videos are actually subscribed, so if you end up liking this video, consider subscribing.
I'm awkward, I'm sorry. Here it's more easy for people to make friends because you don't
don't like need to be scared of how you look like or how would you look like.
So for me, right, my face, I'm not an approachable looking person at all. I wouldn't say intimidate people, and it doesn't help that like I'm kind of nervous around others. I generally don't really know what to say. I generally don't go too much out of my way.
With friendship, I'm sorry for interrupting. The thing in friendship at work, it's mostly, in real life, it's mostly small talks at work because everyone keeps their guard up, and here everyone can be anyone. And people literally come here to meet friends. In work, you just come and you do your work. People will be like, oh, how are you? Also, it's much easier to run away if things go wrong. For example, oh my god, what is that? What is that, Avatar? No, not this. I didn't mean this.
I guess I'm quite picky on who I like as a friend. Right now, I only have like 3 people that I consider close friends and that I text consistently. In real life, I haven't even really been out that much since COVID has been a thing. The only people that I have conversated with were people from like my job or something like that, and I don't know, like it's hard for me to like be actual friends with someone who I'm working with. It's just hard for me. So I guess it is harder for me to make friends in real life. I also just moved from like a big city to like a small in the mountains kind of town, probably max like 4,000 people in the area from living in Orlando, Florida.
Yeah, we moved from the city in Florida up to a small town in western New York out in like the national forests and shit. So it's a pretty big thing.
It is kind of hard to make good friends around here, especially since a lot of the people here are like, how do I say, conservative? Yeah, we were actually meeting for the first time. We had met on Discord, but we both lived in Florida and we just didn't have the chance to meet in Florida. So I went to Big Beepus and asked if he wanted to come too, if he had the money and stuff, and so he bought a plane ticket and like met in the airport and stuff like that. And then like 2 weeks into the break,
that's when COVID really hit and like all the airports got shut down.
Yeah, and like both of our like flights back got canceled and we had to like reschedule them, and then we were just like, well,
we're here, let's just do this, you know?
Yeah, it was pretty wild, yeah. And then we basically just went and got our stuff and
got jobs, and here we are.
Weird turn of events, but you know, we're happy. We're really happy, so things are going well.
I'm good at making friends in the sense that like I can talk to people, strangers, and like we can have a good time, but I typically don't prefer to. If that makes sense. I don't really like it. I'm a weirdo. I do prefer to kind of just do my own thing. Well, that's the thing about this game that I love. Like, let's say if I get tired of talking to you, I don't want to talk to you no more, I could just leave and like nobody's really gonna say anything to me. Like, it's not rude or whatever. I could even pretend my headset died and just, you know what I mean, get away with it. Whereas in real life, if I want to leave, if I'm stuck there with like whoever I came with, or you know, maybe they want to stay but I want to go, or you know what I mean, we're in the same car, blah blah blah.
I think part of it has to do with the fact that we can't really control a huge measure of our appearance or someone's biases towards us because of our location, looks, genetics, style of clothing. All those tiny little factors, those tiny little anxieties play into someone's initial perception of you. And I feel as though VRChat, it kind of liberates a lot of contact from that. Whereas normally, you know, you'd unconsciously make presumptions about someone just as soon as you see them. VRChat's kind of a medium where you can choose whatever VR or whatever avatar you want. Basically, everything about how you present yourself is up to you. I feel like being able to just put your best foot forward and be your personality without any of the things that you perceive to drag you down is an avenue for people to be more self-expressive. Obviously, you have things like people like trolls. They see it as an idea of they have no repercussions because there's nothing tying back to IRL. But you also have people that are often shackled by their insecurities. You know, their worries about themselves and how others will perceive them bog them down to the point where they can't even talk. And VRChat offers an avenue for a more controlled environment.
I mean, I won't lie that, you know, in this day and age, it can be difficult to meet new people. I'm very fortunate that I've got a big group of friends that I've had from school, and I commonly see them and they're all lovely people. But I guess the reason I go on VRChat is I'm a very social person. I like to meet people. I like to get people's opinions and stuff. Without being able to use kind of the internet and VRChat to kind of meet some of these people, I think I would be very kind of narrow-minded in some of the stuff culturally, and it helps helps me kind of understand and be a lot more sympathetic towards, you know, a variety of different cultures and ethnicities that perhaps I wouldn't have exposure to without that. So, you know, the ability to be able to connect to pretty much everyone around the world is invaluable. I just wish that, you know, more could be done to kind of safeguard people, I guess.
I know you're not insulting me, but in real life, I don't really trust a lot of people. But in VR, you could I could tell them and tell you whatever I want, and if I leave the server, I'm never gonna see you again. Yeah, I don't really trust them. I'm kind of quiet, you know. I don't know what to say really, because I'm afraid I'm gonna say something wrong. But in here, I could tell that guy in the corner to go fuck off and stop being a creeper in the corner. And if I feel stupid, I could just leave right now. Ever since I was a kid, whenever I'd tell someone something, they always end up using that against me in some way. And like the friends I used to have would always just kind of be kind of malicious, you know. And those are the only people I'd hang out around. So it just kind of went in my head that that's the average, that's the normal, that's what normal people do. So I have to hide everything in order for them not to be able to use it against me. And that's just been drilled into my head, and I try not to sometimes, but you know, it's still there. So like in VR, you could find someone who's actually like you, because in real life, I live in like a really small town, and there's no one else who plays video games in VR. Everyone here is a hillbilly, go ride horses and shit, got a gun, but I'm not really into that, you know. I moved here, I'm not from here, I'm not into that shit. So, but in VR, I could find people who actually like me, have the same interests. Well, in real life, that's not possible, really. One thing to the world, what would I say? This is going to be very important. This is going to be very inspiring. I'm going to stand up for this. I'm going to stand on top of my chair. Humans of VR. The quietest people are normally the coolest people.
It's kind of funny when you point the gun at me and ask me about my last words.
Say something or I'll kill you.
I don't want to die. I'm kidding. I'll say the first step.
No, the meaning of life. We lost it.
I'm back. Okay, so what I wanted to say is, in that subject, I feel like the first step begin with you, and it's not. You don't need to do a lot to make friends. You just need to be ready within yourself to make friends and to talk with people.
I've met a lot of really, really nice people. Most people are really, really kind, and I mean, other than the children, like stuff like that, it's really fun meeting new people. They like everyone I've really talked to. I think it's just because I'm a female. It's like very easy for people to be nice to females. Yeah, I've definitely like my first day. Once I was telling people like, oh, this is my first time playing. Like I had like 7 people around me. Like it was crazy. But everybody's so nice, so I guess that's my impression.
I've also encountered like a couple of times now where I'll find like a group of people that aren't necessarily friends to begin with, but we all just kind of start talking and hanging out, and then we start to have like actual deep, serious conversations about things. And it's been pretty interesting, like having those kind of deep talks with complete strangers that you'll probably never talk to again, you know what I mean?
Hell yeah, I definitely would love to see what VRChat has more to offer, because I mean, I just played my first game, like Putt-Putt. That was awesome. I didn't even know that was a thing in VRChat. Like, I didn't know, like, VRChat had mini games. I thought it was just, like, chat rooms. Like, I didn't know it was this in-depth. I definitely think I'll get a lot of hours of entertainment out of this game, so I would love to come back. And I've actually made quite a few friends already, and, like, I have hung out with them more than once already, and, like, it's fun meeting new people, so...
Especially since gas is so expensive, it's easier to meet people on here.
I've been playing VRChat for maybe about a month. No offense to the veterans, but like I notice a lot of people like to just go to houses or apartments or whatever and just like stare at each other's avatars in the mirrors and talk. And there's like tons of games on here. There's tons of visual worlds like this, just really cool stuff that I feel like a lot of people kind of ignore. It's the future, and I think that it changes a lot of things for people. It changes a lot of things for me. It brightens up my day because I am an introvert and I don't like to go out, and a barrier to going out, money, transportation, blah blah blah.
I think VRChat at its core, beyond the games and the bullshitting, is an opportunity for people to connect, to speak with each other using various creative mediums. It's an opportunity for content creators to make beautiful worlds like such, and it's an opportunity for people to bond and speak with each other over vast distances. It's a kind of a secure melting pot for cultures and introverts and basically anyone who just wants to talk talk to people or play around. And above all, it's community driven. It's not limited by the ideas of the creators, and rather puts the power in the hands of the people who want to play. Some months ago, I would have said that I'm not as confident, but I've gotten to a point where I'm pretty confident in the way I look. After you get past the hyper self-criticism, I can look at myself and say, hey, I'm not that terrible looking. Maybe slightly better than average, I guess. I have a desk job, so I don't really go out and meet a whole lot of people. I'll work with the same people very often, but I'll come home and I'll be like, I want to hop on the computer and just not go out because I'm tired. But VR chat is kind of the antidote to the chronic introversion and lack of going out. It gives me an opportunity to talk to people that I never would have, from different cultures, from different backgrounds, viewpoints. And I don't see that as an escape from reality, as more of a creative exploration of reality. No one you meet on VR chat is an AI. No one's fake. I mean, they may be putting up a false front, to be sure, but there is invariably a real person behind each and every person you see. So to that extent, I'd say it's been really useful in my life. I've gotten a chance to talk to people, develop my social skills, understand myself more, and I'm very glad I decided to fire it up the first time.
No, I think you can form relationships with people in VR chat the same as you can in real life. The difference is obviously you can't physically see them, and there's a lot of socialization which is done in person. There's a lot of body language as well, which helps form, like the fabrics of forming a relationship with somebody. You can't do that in VR chat, and I think a lot of people which just solely form friendships in VR chat are probably missing that kind of experience of kind of socialization and how to actually kind of deal and speak with people in real life. It's not necessarily a massively healthy thing to just use VR chat for socialization, but it is a good kind of platform to kind of expand your socialization, I'd say.
What keeps me coming back is all the friends I've made on here, because friends on here know more about me than my friends in real life. Because I got friends that I've known for years, and I've only recently told them some things, and then I got friends on here I've only known a couple months, and they now know those things. I think part of it is that it's the anonymity, like if something goes wrong here, I piss someone off, we could just block each other, be done with it, and never speak to each other again. Real world, if my coworkers are pissing me off, or I'm pissing them off, can't exactly just block them, gotta deal with them. So to someone who's never played this game, the culture is really just kind of be whatever you want to be. Be ready to see a lot of weird things, hear a lot of weird things, see a lot of weird things, and do some things you never thought you'd do. Yeah, you can put it together. The darker side of VR chat,
Well, it's mostly the social aspect. People here can be whatever they want, and I think that it's interesting to see. It tells a lot about a person. But I guess that it's not that difficult to make friends. I think the biggest factor in making friends is who takes the first step. So who actually bothers to say, hi, what's your name? If you don't try, it's a guaranteed miss. And if you end up not liking the person or doesn't fit your vibe, you really have nothing to lose because they were not a friend to begin with. I guess it's easy to say as someone who makes easy friends. There's a saying in Dutch, hebben is hebben en krijgen de kunst, which roughly translates to, you have to do with what you have, and if you can get things along the way, then it's great. But make sure you have the basis in order. That goes for everything, like making friends. You have them or you don't, and if you don't, you have to make them. It's fairly confusing. I'm not great at explaining.
I kind of grew up in chat rooms all the way from like AOL Instant Messenger and like IRC and shit. And like I was an introverted kid. I was kind of like locked in my room, and so like all of my friends since I was like little have been online friends. And so I think definitely in my experience, you can have really deep interpersonal connections without having to be face to face with each other.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. I've had plenty of friends, like when I was in school and stuff, I had plenty of friends like come over and hang out, and like I had a lot of really good friends when I was in school, but it seemed like those people, like once you get out of school, like it's like, I don't know, I guess I could have reached out to them too, but it's not like they reach out to you either and you just kind of go your separate ways. But like, I don't know, like I feel like online friends, it's like, I don't know, like once you get to know each other, you actually like care about each other and like you vent about stuff and you help each other out.
I think what I'd like to say, and it's a little strange, But just wanted to make people aware that artificial intelligence in the next kind of 5 to 10 years is going to be able to change everyone's lives for the better. And I just kind of advise people to do research and kind of look into AI in the future and how it can kind of help, and kind of how you can help shape the future with it, because it's going to be the next big thing. Mark my words. Come back to this video in 10 years time and you'll see that AI it would have changed the world. AI in terms of just generally everything. So we should start to see AI and advancements in technology to such an extent that can actually start to make meaningful impacts on people's lives positively. I honestly believe in the next kind of 15 years with brain interface devices that will be able to solve some of the really difficult mental health conditions that people suffer with. And I feel like a lot of people don't know or generally just see bits and bobs of AI and feel like it's an overwhelming kind of industry and an overwhelming topic for them to look into. What I'd say to people is, if you have any interest in it, now's the time to really look into it, because it's growing exponentially and there's a lot of job opportunities and careers with inside artificial intelligence, and we need more people, and especially young people, to get involved in that, because you're going to be shaping the state of the world and also create stuff which is really going to actually revolutionize aspects of society. And this is why I'm trying to like share the message of AI, because I think people don't realize how advanced some AI models are getting and how advanced they're going to be. They're really going to be so you have the information age with the internet and all of that, and it's really going to progress into what I believe will be the artificial intelligence age, which is going to completely change, along with technologies like augmented reality, brain interface, virtual reality. It's really going to change society massively. It's a problem, and it's a really exciting prospect that everybody should get involved in at this stage. Now's the time to shape it. We're in the infancies of creating something great.
Kindness is contagious. When you are kind, you inspire others. Be the spark. Spreading kindness merchandise available now.